Hey everybody, hope you are good. Hope you are feeling like we need a nice little stretch to finish off, or maybe to start your day, wherever you're at. Very well, welcome to you. My name is Emma, and we have a lovely 45-minute flow. Bit of a focus on our hamstrings and our lower back today. So, if we've been doing those longer runs or maybe a bit more strength, whatever you need, we've got you covered. Of course, there'll always be other muscles that are stretched out, released in our flow. So, while we're focusing on those hamstrings and lower backs, you're still going to enjoy a nice full body stretch. Now, I have with me my trusty blocks and my strap. If you need cushions, blocks, books, even, you can use a bag of rice if you wish, or a dressing gown, belts, whatever you need. Just go and grab that now. Pop your music on, get comfy, find a place that's working for you, and then we shall start. We are going to begin today standing actually. So, coming to one end of your mat, feet about hip distance apart, knees nice and soft. We're just going to start in a mountain pose. So, hands down by your sides, facing forward. Just give your shoulders a bit of a roll. And as long as your feet are grounded into the mat, maybe close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath back out. A couple of those. Let's just start to find a nice slow and steady rhythm. Breathing deep down to our tummies, feeling our chest lift, tummies rise. Maybe your shoulders rolling back as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, let everything go. So whether you've just finished a workout or you're coming at this at any other time in the day, we just want to take a moment to reset, to find a bit of calm, a bit of focus. And of course, this long, slow breath is going to be super beneficial as we find our stretches to release into our muscles. That's where we're going with that sentence. So just try to start by slowing things down a little bit, noticing where we're at, and we can move through the next 45 minutes, change things up, and finish up feeling refreshed, ready for whatever is next. One more deep breath. Okay, starting to give your shoulders a nice roll. Maybe your head has a little semicircle, left and right, stretching into your neck. When you're ready, start to curl your way down. Just keep that bend in your knees, folding forwards, fingertips either onto your mat or maybe just hovering above your toes by your ankles. We're just going to be heavy. Feel that space through the legs right now. How is it doing? How are we feeling? Maybe start to let a bit more weight into the front of each foot as you lean further down towards the mat. As always, you do not have to be here. Our hands do not have to reach the mat right now. See if your exhale can help you get a little bit further. And on your next breath in, rolling all the way back up, all the way to the top. This time your arms coming up to the top as well, hands together. Exhale, bring the arms apart. Nice swan dive down, leading with your chest, hinging at your hips, fold forwards. One more just like that, breathing in as you roll up. Arms coming to the top, fingertips meet. Exhale, swan dive down. From here, taking a little twist, a little side stretch. You're going to start to bend through your right knee. Leave your right fingertips down, either on your ankle, your shin, maybe the mat. Keep that left leg straight as you reach up with the left fingertips. Turn your chest, turn your gaze. Shoulder rolling back. And hopefully we've got a nice big release down the outside of our left leg. Those are T-bands. Getting a big stretch here. Feel free to go a little bit further. Increase the bend through the right knee or ease off, take it back. Slowly coming back down towards the mat, we'll switch over. So this time left knee bends, left hand stays down, right leg is straight, and right fingertips reaching up towards your ceiling. Turn through the chest, really sending your right hip high. You might get a bit of a tingle down the outside of those right legs, particularly if that thigh and your IT band is a bit tight. But that's okay. Breathe through it. See where you get to. Slowly moving back down towards your mat. Give your legs a bit of a shake. Maybe holding on to either elbow now, rocking side to side. So as we are trying to focus on our hamstrings and our lower back today, at any point, if you need to just release slightly more, ease in or ease out, then just take a little bend of your knees and any forward folds, and that's going to help us just to make it not too intense. Or if you want to go further, feel free. Okay, letting your hands come down. We're going to step back with our left foot all the way back behind us. Hands to the inside of your right toes now as you start to just rock forwards and backwards, easing into our hips as well in this lunge. Working into our left ankle. Slowly starting to bring this left knee down, keeping your toes tucked for the moment. As you breathe in, lifting up onto your fingertips. As you breathe out, folding forwards into our lizard pose. Sink the chest down. Feel free to grab your block, your books, your cushion, anything you want if you want to bring your forearms onto it. Taking a deep breath here. As you exhale, can you go any deeper? Notice if this right knee is kind of clinging towards you or it's really leaning out to the side. So either are okay, but if your right leg is close to you, then really getting a bit more space through the left hip. If it's going out to the side and we're kind of leaning it away from us, we're opening a bit more through the right hip. So just be aware. We're going to start to move up now. So taking your block, your cushion, whatever you had out of the way, hands back on the mat. Starting to send your hips backwards as you lengthen through your right knee, lift up your toes into our half splits. I always think half splits sounds a bit more intense than it is. Our hips are just going back and our right leg is straight. So our hamstrings are getting this full release, big stretch here. Lifting up as you breathe in. Exhale as you breathe out. Exhale as you breathe out. Lower down as you breathe out is what we mean. Starting to move forward. Now I'm going to bring my block back in front. My right hand is going to go onto my block now. And I'm lifting up those left knees, start to turn and pivot. So the whole of your left foot is down at the back, really pressing through that left foot, that left edge. Start to lift your left arm up. So we're in an extended side angle. And of course, you can do this with your right hand on the mat. Or you may want to move your block or whatever you have underneath you so it's on a higher setting or a lower level. Totally up to you. We're looking for some opening through our chests. Our gaze up toward those left fingertips. Okay, left hand coming back down. I'm going to keep this block just to the side of me because we're going to repeat this on the other side now. So bringing your hands around to face the long edge of your mat, toes pointing the same way. Breathing in, lifting halfway in a lovely wide fold. Exhale, lower down. One more of those, taking your shoulders back, chest open as you breathe in. Breathe out, find the length, the space you've created, moving into it. And now walking over towards your left toes, repeating this on the other side. You might be facing the back of your mat. That is okay. Stay there. We're going to move back to the front in a moment. Starting out in our lunge. So pivoting onto your right toes at the back, left foot faces forwards. Just beginning with those little rocks back and forth, easing into our hips, our ankles. Slowly bringing your right knee down, toes stay tucked as you breathe in, lifting up onto your fingers, create all the length down the spine. Exhale, folding forwards, bring your chest a little bit lower. Again, notice where this knee is. Is it the same as last time? Is it tucked close towards you? Apologies, you can't quite see on this side. And if you did use your block before, bring it back here. So popping your forearms perhaps onto one of the levels. And that's just going to help you to soften a little bit more into your upper body. So we don't need to really squeeze and bring ourselves low down. We're looking here for space in the legs. As always, any more room as you breathe out, use that releasing breath. Bringing yourself back onto your hands. Block just moves out in front or to the side, stretching yourself back. Left leg goes straight, toes lifting up, fingertips staying down. Breathing in as you lift through the chest. Breathing out as you fold. Sending your left hip back. So just like when we were standing up doing that twist to the side, we're really drawing this left hip back. The glutes are going behind us. So we've got a nice big release down the back of our legs into our hamstrings. Slowly moving forwards. Bringing your block back in front of you if you did last time. This time, left hand going onto the block. Right toes tuck as you move onto the heel. The outside edge of the foot is really pressing down into your mat. Sweeping your right arm up as we come into our side angle. Stretch the fingertips all the way tall. Moving your block if you need. Bringing your hand down, further up. Whatever you fancy, however the legs, the arms, the chest doing today. And then we'll bring our right hand back down, turning again to that long edge of our mats. Breathing in here, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. If this is too intense on your legs, feel free to wiggle your feet a little bit closer together. Breathing in to lift, take the shoulders away. And release down. Small bend in our knees now as we start to lift up to standing all the way to the top. Keep these legs wide. Roll your shoulders. Interlacing our fingers behind us. Take the shoulders back even more. Lift your chest. As you breathe out next, start to send your chest forwards. So lowering ourselves down, hinging at our hips. Arms going up to wherever you want them to be. Big chest stretch. Rolling the shoulders away. Head's heavy, so we're not holding our gaze in one place. We are letting ourselves look wherever we want to right now. Such a nice one as you breathe. You can really feel that release through the shoulders and your chest. Start to let your hands come back down. Hands holding onto either ankle now, or your toes if you have the space, if you can get there. But maybe just your shins or your ankles. Breathing in, keep that connection, start to lift. Exhale, start to fold forwards as you use that connection a little bit more to draw your chest a bit closer towards the legs and probably closer towards your mat and your floor as well. That's okay. So we should be feeling a nice deep stretch down the back of our legs and hopefully into our lower backs a little bit now. Keeping your backs, your spines lovely and long. Letting go, hands coming down to your mat. Let's walk back over to the top of our mats, turning your toes to face the front, and then stepping yourself back into a high plank. Breathing in here. Breathing out as you bring your knees down, toes untuck, bring your chest down to the mat. Rolling your shoulders back as we lift ourselves up into a cobra. So our legs staying on the ground, hands really strong, pressing into the mat, chest open. And just seeing if we can get a little bit of a turn, a twist, as you gaze back over your right shoulder. And then all the way through to the front and over to the left shoulder. One more time on each side. Keep pressing through your hands so your chest stays open. Gazing back. Through the front, over the left. Okay, pressing into your mat, toes tucked behind you. Moving ourselves up into a downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet side to side, rocking left and right. One knee bends, the heel lowers, other leg straightens. So really thinking about our hips going high, pressing through every part of our hands. Strong in our mats. Squeezing through the tummy to help us lift up. Okay, moving as much as you need, as always, in your downward dogs. Never too much movement is what I say. From here, you're going to start to lift up your right leg, sending it up and back behind you. It doesn't need to go the whole way to the top. You might just be about 90 degrees from the mat. Or you can stretch the leg higher. See how those legs, those hamstrings particularly, are doing right now. Slowly bringing your foot forward. You're going to step about 2/3 of the way towards the top of our mat or towards our hands. And then plant that right foot down. Draw your hands back. Moving up into a pyramid pose, breathing in as you lift onto your fingertips. Your fingers may be on your shin. Exhale, fold forwards. And we have options from here. You can so always keeping this right leg straight, sorry. You can bend into your left knee to increase that stretch through the back of your right leg, or you can come up onto your tiptoes at the back just to ease off slightly. So maybe have a play around, see how each one feels for you right now, see where you're going, and then take one more deep breath where you are. Moving into a revolved pyramid, your left hand staying down, right arm opening up to the side, just our chest, our shoulders turning as we gaze up to the top. And bring your right hands down. Start to bend into your right knee now, fingers coming in front. We're going to lift ourselves up into a balance. Have a bit of a play. Start to bring your left foot off the ground, holding it out behind you. And then here, I have another block just next to me. You might want to grab yours because we're going to move up into a half moon. So I'm going to pop my right hand onto my block. See if we can start to lift our left arms up as we open our hips out to the side. Now, I know we're using our yoga as a bit of a recovery, a bit of a stretch, a bit more mobility. And 100% that is still true through our balances. Remember that every single balance, we're working on that single leg strength, single leg release, and every single step through our runs. We're just on one leg. Slowly focusing. Starting to bring your left hand down now, but keeping our left legs lifted. Slowly bringing ourselves up to standing. Your left knee is going to move up towards hip height. Soften through your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Good. Bringing ourselves up into a high lunge. Your left foot planting back. Arms are reaching. Nice. Start to straighten through your right leg. Give it a little bit of a shake if you need. Maybe your shoulders have a shake. On your next breath in, lifting your arm or your arms back up to the top, stretching your fingertips. You might want to wiggle your right foot a bit further forwards, a bit further back. See where you can find a comfy place for your high lunge. Moving into one more twist here. Left arm coming forwards, right arm going back. Sinking low into the legs. As I said, while we're working through a bit more of a focus on our hamstrings, the lower back, these hips are definitely getting some work into. Staying here, or if you wish, leaning forwards and your left elbow is coming to the outside edge of the right knee, right arm going up to the top. Turning back to face your mat, hands coming down. Moving into a side plank from here, not for too long, I promise. Right foot onto the outside of your left leg. Start to press through the outside of your left foot. Right arm lifts. And then that right foot is going to plant over towards the left side as you move into a wild thing. So if you haven't been in a wild thing before, just take a moment. Your left foot is down on the mat. Your right toes are behind you and your right arm is lifted. We're squeezing through our glutes to hold ourselves up. Nice big opening for the front of the body. And then bring yourself back down. Right hand onto your mat. Right leg comes back into our downward dog. Have a shake out, have a wiggle, refocus. How's the breathing going? I know some of these things are new, but it's worth having a little play around. It's not too serious yoga. We're just stretching out. All good. Okay, repeating that on the other side. So starting by your left foot going up and back. As before, go as high as you wish right now. How much space do we have down those right hamstrings? How much strength do we have in the arms? Taking a deep breath. Starting to bring your foot forwards, planting about 2/3 of the way towards your hands. Bringing your hands back towards you as you breathe in, lift up to fingertips, maybe hands on the shin. Exhale, fold. One more, breathing in. Remember, taking those variations if you need. You can come up onto your right tiptoes. You can bend that right knee. Any more length down your backs. Stretch into your hamstrings. Bring yourself back Up, bending into your left knee, fingertips out in front of you, starting to bring your right foot off the mat. So move up into our half moon on this left side. So again, if you need that block down in front of you or your hands can stay on the mat, left hand staying down as your right arm starts to lift. Our hips are turning over to that right side. So our right knee and right toes are facing the right side of your room. The key with our balances is to focus on our breathing. It does not matter if we wobble. We've just got to trust that we'll come back to it. Starting to bring ourselves back down, right fingertips onto your mat, left hand down as well, starting to lift up to standing again. This right leg stays up. Refocus, soften the shoulders, breathe deep. Back into your high lunge, right foot planting back behind you, arms lifting, your left knee bends, maybe you're wiggling if you're like me to try and find the right place for your feet to be. Fingertips lifting tall, take a deep breath in. Can you go a little bit lower into your legs? Into your twist, right arm moves forwards, left arm goes back. So still pressing away into our back heel, opening through the chest. If you did last time, taking that slight lean as you bring the elbow to the outside of your thigh or your knee, left arm lifts. Sinking low in your legs, one more deep breath. Turning back down towards your mat. Hands onto the ground. Once more moving through our wildling, starting it through our side plank. So your left foot steps back, plants on top of this right foot. Left arm reaches up, strong through the right shoulder. Left leg stepping behind you as you squeeze through the bottoms, lift yourself up. Slowly moving down towards your mat, hands on the ground, stepping back into your downward dog. Again, pedal out the feet, shoulders roll. Moving forwards into our high plank from here. Exhaling as we bring our knees down, toes down, chest down. Big roll of your shoulders, lifting yourself up into that cobra. If you wish, up into an up dog here, which is just pressing through the feet and lifting the rest of your legs off the mat. If that is too much for me, I find after running too much, that is intense on my quads, my glutes. So I'm going to keep my knees down, but feel free to do whatever you wish. And maybe staying straight and just opening up through your chest for a moment, or maybe turning to either side. Have another little wiggle in your up dog or your cobra before bringing your bum back towards your heels and lifting high into your downward dog. Give your legs a shake, maybe even your hips a little rock side to side. You can turn both heels one way, send the hips one way as you stretch through the waist. Always feels good to me. When you're ready, starting to walk your feet up towards your hands, breathing in, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold down. Again, just noticing how much space you have in the legs right now. Is it a bit more? Do they still feel tight? We've got more stretches to go, don't worry. Letting yourself come as low as you need. Starting to bring yourself up to standing. Nice roll through the spine, slowly lifting yourself up. Roll your shoulders. Okay, we're going to come down onto our mats and stay there for the next part of our class. So we're going to start by bending our right knee. Start to lean forward, just bring your hands onto the mat and then bring this right shin down onto the ground as you sit back, not quite onto the heel. So your right foot, your ankle is just to the side of you. And then you can stretch your left leg forwards for now. So for the moment, our right knee faces forwards, our left foot all the way out in front of us. And you can bring your right ankle as close or as far apart as you wish. If your hips or your knee are a bit too painful this way, then for this one, I'm just going to say to you, bring this right leg in front and keep this knee bent. And we'll switch around. You can still do the same posture. We're still going to go for those hamstrings, So I'm going to keep my ankle quite close to the outside of my glutes. I'm going to grab my strap. Hopefully you'll have something you can hold onto your foot with. If not, you can use your hands. You might just want to bring that knee forwards again, like that variation we just said. So we're going to wrap our left foot with the strap and keep this knee bent for the moment. Stay seated nice and tall, chest opens. Slowly starting to extend your left heel away, keeping hold of your strap. If you're holding with the hands, hands are going around our big, or not our big toes, but the front of our feet, and then reaching forwards. If that is too intense, maybe you just want to hold onto your shin and do the same movement. So everyone starting with this bent knee, we're going to lift up and lengthen and release. Lift and lengthen, keep the back, the spine lovely and straight, and release. One more like this, lengthening the leg away, sending your heel away from you as you lift up through the chest and release. And now we're going to hold up there. So pressing your heel back. Again, you can hold with your hands, you can take that strap and use it. And it doesn't matter if your right knee is down on the mat or if it's lifted, we're still aiming for this stretch through our hamstrings. So hopefully we can all feel that. What we don't want to be doing though is kind of leaning back and arching through our spines too much. So really try and lift up, tailbone to the crown of our heads, nice and tall, and we're pressing our left heel away to find this deep stretch down the back of the leg. One more deep breath here. Starting to release the left foot down. I'm going to move my strap just to the side, left leg extending away from you, and then wiggling your right foot forwards. So your right foot comes to the inside of your left thigh. In fact, I'm going to turn around this way, and then it'll be a little bit clearer. Left foot in front of you. Deep breath in, lifting your arms up, either leaning straight forwards or taking hold of your strap again, reaching it forwards around the toes and drawing yourself down. So you can hold onto the foot or the ankle or your shin with your hands. And again, I want you to really think about those long spines. So because we're aiming today to stretch into the lower back, it means that if we start to curl and hunch over our shoulders and our chest, we lose this length in the lower back and we start to just get the length from the upper and the middle back. So we're trying to find some space first and slowly move down. It doesn't matter how low we get, it doesn't matter how far our chest is from the mat or from our knee or our shin. Where can you feel it? Focus there, close the eyes. Very slowly lifting your way up, rolling to the top. And from here, again, keep that strap by your side if you had it. You're going to start to lift up through your right knee and see if you can plant that right foot on the ground as your knee lifts up towards the top. So I'm going to, again, wiggle a bit. You might need to wiggle yourselves, actually. Find a comfy place. Sometimes our knee points forward, and that's not quite what we want it. We want it to kind of go to the outside, but sometimes that's not easy through the ankle. So wherever you need, you might want your foot a little bit further away from you or really close tucked in. We're going to do the same stretch, just with the left hand. So left arm is going to reach forward again. You can pop a strap around your foot if you need. Just starting with your left arm reaching forwards. So we should feel a bit more of a stretch through this right side of our waist, down towards the lower back. Maybe your right hand, starts to reach forward as well. Slowly lift yourself back up to the top. And this time we're going to hold onto our right ankle with our left hand. So it's gripping onto our shin or ankle and keeping this leg close to us. Again, with the same reach on the right side. It's almost like our chest is doing the opposite of what our legs are doing. Turning to the side, can we feel this? Where can we feel it? Can we breathe a little bit deeper just to soften? We don't need to move any further. Stretching over for one more deep breath. Make your way back to the top, slowly, slowly, slowly lifting your way up. Good, just bring that right leg out in front of you for a moment. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Sometimes I find that gives me a little bit of a Not quite cramp, but like almost cramp through the glutes. And then you're going to come in with the legs, your left leg in front of you, right leg over the top. We've done this one before if you've done a few of the other videos. It's like a double pigeon. But as always, it's not easy through the legs, through the ankles. So you may find if you have a cushion or if you have a block, you might want to just prop up one knee or both knees, whatever you want to do. We're aiming basically to try and stack our knees and our ankles on top of each other, but that's not always the easiest thing to do. If you're not quite in line, don't worry, just go with it today, see how it goes. Take a deep breath in, lift up through the chest, the shoulders roll down. As you breathe out, start to send your hands forwards as you walk or draw your chest down in front of you. Soft through the upper body. We should feel a bit more of a stretch to the outside of our glutes into our hips. Of course, if this is too intense, just bring your hands slightly back and stay kind of half lifted. Same thing you do in a pigeon, just not go the whole way. We never need to go the whole way. We need to do what's best for our bodies, listening to ourselves. Slowly bringing us up and out. We will switch our legs over. So our right leg is going to go long this time. Left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Starting out with that long forward stretch as we did before. So as you breathe in, take the arms up, grow tall. As you breathe out, send your hands forwards. Feel free to use your strap. Chest draws down. Same as before, thinking about taking your shoulders so they're not hunched forwards and rolling with the chest. We've got a nice long line through the back. And you'll see on my back, that does not mean I'm perfectly straight. Our backs are never perfectly straight. Natural curves are absolutely perfect. But we just want to see where we get to. So really try and focus on the feel. Taking one more steady breath here. Slow breath back out. Bringing yourself back up to seated and then bringing your left foot down onto the mat, left knee lifts. Same as before, we're just going to keep this leg here, maybe wiggle it a little bit and bring your right hand forwards towards your toes. See if you can reach further forwards. Doesn't matter where the left hand is, sorry. Maybe you're using a strap. Can you feel the stretch already down the right side, left side even, left side of us? Maybe taking your left arm forwards. It might feel a little bit sticky, a bit uncomfy. One side is probably going to feel better than the other. Bringing yourself back to the top. We'll start that slight turn with the chest. So your right hand is going to hold onto your left ankle. Start to lean forwards, or lean to the side, I guess. Sending your left fingertips towards your toes. You do not have to reach. You can see mine are way away from my toes. But I can feel this stretch down the side of my waist into my lower back. Softly breathing in, softly breathing back out. Moving yourself back to the top, bringing our legs back to where they were before. This time your right foot is going to go underneath, left foot on top. Again, feel free to prop your knees up. You can see this side has quite a big gap compared to the last side. Trying to stack our knees and our ankles, but not worrying if we can't. And then hands in front of you, walking them forwards. Big stretch into your glutes. This side is definitely tighter for me. Folding forwards, let your chest move a little bit further with every single breath out. Beginning to gently walk your hands back towards you now. Unravel those legs, same as before if you want. Just give your legs, your feet, a little bit of a wiggle, release any slight tension that built up in the hips. We're going to bring our toes together in front of you. Feet, the soles of your feet joining, hands wrapping around your toes. Start to walk your glutes, your bottoms in a little bit closer towards you. Rolling back with the shoulders, again for a nice forward fold. This time, a little bit more of a stretch through those inside thighs. So maybe your forearms coming down onto the legs. Maybe they're just half lifted, but we're still pressing the feet in together to draw the knees out apart. Slow send forwards with our chest. Gently bringing yourself back up. Hands coming to the outside of your knees. Bring the legs together. The final few folds for us. I'm going to shift slightly further back on my mat so that it's easier for you to see. I'm just going to take my legs out wide into a straddle position. So we do not need to have our legs all the way out wide, but you may get them really wide. You may be kind of halfway on the mat. You may be even further than me and you're almost in a complete box splits. Wherever you're at today, wherever you're at any point, go to that place. Drawing our toes back towards us. So almost feeling like our knees are drawing to the outside edges of the mat. So we're not going to let those legs fall in and kind of be a bit insular, I would say. We want to keep those feet drawing back and like our thighs are turning out to the sides. Fingers down on the ground, start to lean forwards. Now from here, maybe you walk the hands further out. Maybe you keep them as they are. Maybe you even bring your forearms down. If you wish, you can take a block or your cushion or your stack of books, whatever you might have, and pop your forehead down. Maybe you use the block out in front of you to kind of aim for something. And again, we should be feeling this stretch through the legs. If it's too intense, ease off. If you want to go further, find yourself that little bit lower. Finding the length down your back. One more breath here. And slowly bringing yourself back all the way to seated. Start to curl or uncurl yourself back up. Bending your knees, bringing your legs in. And we're going to have one more forward fold. You can see the theme with this class is forward folds. Hamstrings and lower back. Forward folds are your friend. We're bringing our legs both together out in front. Breathing in, growing tall, as we have done so many times already. Breathing out, take your fingertips forwards. This time I'm going to say don't use that strap. So it doesn't matter where the hands go. They can really be up by your knees, by your ankles, by your toes. It doesn't matter what the pose looks like. Listen to your body. Where can you find that sweet spot to stretch into? Again, aiming to keep our chests open, even if our eyes are closed. It's as if we're looking and we're bringing ourselves closer to the top of our toes. From here now, we're going to bring the back of each hand to the outside of your legs. Start to point your toes. And this time we are going to curl up through the chest, through the shoulders. Tuck your chin. Go as close as you can down towards your thighs. Maybe your forearms are on the mat as well. Maybe you want to rock side to side. Just enjoy the space you've created across your shoulder blades. Sometimes after all those folds, we've kept the back in quite a long, extended position. It's just quite nice to curl up and feel this release. Slowly coming up to seated. Hands moving behind you. Now I'm going to grab my block again. I'm going to pop it just behind, kind of up above my pelvis and my hips, but on my spine. And then I'm going to lower myself down. You may find this is more comfortable with a cushion or a pillow, probably not one that you can do with books and put it on their side. Make sure they're flat. And I'm going to let my back roll all the way open. So I get this lovely big release through the chest, arms down by my sides. If this is not comfy for you, feel free to take those blocks, cushions, whatever away and just come down onto your backs for a moment. We have one more posture after this one that we're going to take. So taking 2 more breaths as you are in that lovely chest opener. Starting to move whatever you had underneath you, if you had it there, away to the side, slowly moving out of that one. Everyone bringing our knees in towards our chests, wrapping your arms around your legs. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Now, as I said, we have one final posture to finish up before we rest down. And you can choose to take this posture or just to rest down already. If you're already ready to just have a few moments of stillness, be my guest. Lie down, have a little nap for a few moments. If you want to take a shoulder stand and then a plow, it's going to be quite a nice stretch on our backs, but it can be a little intense. So please see how you go. Hands moving down to your sides, your knees, your thighs in towards your chest still. Start to press into your hands as you lift your knees up towards your forehead. Hands then moving onto your lower back to support your weight through the hands. And then starting to walk your hands up the back as you move up into a shoulder stand. The weight is in our shoulders. If it's too intense on your neck, maybe take a little bend of the knee, come further down onto your shoulders. If you're happy here, you can stay here. If you wanted that extra stretch through the back, starting to send your feet behind you, slow, 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 there's no rush. Very carefully planting your feet out behind you. And then either your hands staying on the lower back for that bit of support, or you can interlace your fingers and press your palms away. So as we press our feet back behind us, our heels pressing back, and that's going to find a bit of a release through the back. We can still breathe here. Find your focus. Trust yourself. One more deep breath. If you're in your plow pose, hands coming back towards your lower back as you bend your knees in from your shoulder stand, bending your knees down towards your forehead, moving out as gently as you came in, slowly onto your mats. You might just want to bring your feet down onto the mat and give your legs a little window wipe, side to side. Anyone that is already resting, we are going to join you now. So feet and arms and legs, wherever you want, out by your sides, out in front. Maybe your knees stay bent. Maybe you come into a bit of a kite position with your legs, feet joining, knees out to the side. Wherever you are, just take a moment, close your eyes, be still, be soft on your mat. Breathe slow. And if you want to stay here any longer, please stay here. Chill out. Do you. That's the best thing to do. If you're ready to start moving, wiggling into your fingers, your toes, rolling wrists and ankles and your head side to side, starting to hug your knees in. Give yourself a big cuddle, big hug, like we're squeezing that relative we haven't seen in ages. We just need to give them one big cuddle and everything's okay. Starting to lift yourself up gently to seated into a comfortable position, whatever that looks or feels, sorry, or seems like for you today. Legs can be crossed out in front, underneath you, whatever you fancy. Hands by your sides, shoulders rolling back, lifting tall through the crown of your head. Give yourself a big well done, a huge well done from me. Big smile to finish up, please. I hope you feel so much better than you did 45 minutes ago. I hope your legs and your back are a little bit more of a release. I'm sure there's still some tension there. So do any other stretches, come back to me. If you have some questions, just shout and I will be happy to answer them in the WhatsApp chat or wherever. Just let me know. And I'll see you very soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.